Now we're going to head to Baghdad this morning. The U.S. military claims at least 30 insurgents have been killed in the first day of Operation Arrowhead Ripper. It's a joint push by U.S. and Iraqi forces north of Baghdad. Lieutenant General Raymond Odierno is the commanding general of the multinational corps in Iraq, and he joins us now from Camp Victory in Baghdad. General Odierno, what's the goal of Arrowhead Ripper here?
Well, first, it's a little bit bigger than Arrowhead Ripper. It's a large-scale core operation that's going on in several different areas within Iraq. One of them being Arrowhead Ripper in Baqubah, another one happening in Arab Jabor in 3rd ID's area, and another operation going on in Multinational Force West out north of Fallujah, and a series of operations in order to go after al-Qaeda strongholds in and around Baghdad that is affecting our ability to provide security to the populace of Iraq.
Is this because you believe a lot of what happens in Baghdad comes from outside of the city itself?
It is our assessment that many of the accelerants that we call them, truck bombs, car bombs, and other things, originate outside of Baghdad. We call it the Baghdad belts, the areas surrounding Baghdad that try to influence the population inside of Baghdad.
General Odierno, we certainly hear a lot of opinions about this in Congress these days. Let me go to you on the ground there and ask, the so-called surge, is it working or not?
Well, first off, the full surge just got into place on the 15th of June. So, you know, it takes some time for the soldiers to get used to the area they're in because it's a very complex environment. So in my mind, we have to give it a little bit of a chance yet. I would say 60 to 90 days from now, we can give an initial assessment on how well the surge is doing. In order to comment on the surge now, in my mind, is much too premature because it is just now beginning in its full glory.
Do you have any early indications?
Well, I would say, for example, our ability to do these operations that we're doing now, we weren't able to do that before. So we can maintain security forces inside of Baghdad while we're simultaneously conducting operations in Baqubah, Arab Jabor, Fallujah. So that allows us to keep pressure on them. But more importantly, I'm hoping it allow us to maintain it over a long period of time and continue to buy the time and space necessary for the Iraqi security forces to take over.
General, you recently said that the city of Baghdad itself is only 40% secure. Sectarian killings are down there a little bit, but they're exploding across the country. Are you actually affecting the violence in Iraq, or are you just moving it elsewhere?
Well, I think the bottom line is what I really said is I think about 70% is in pretty good shape in Baghdad, and there's 30% that is we still have a lot of work to do, and is really what I said. But anyhow, to answer your question is we expected this. And what's good is we have forces that can deal this in and around Baghdad. We will have to do some adjustments, and we will adjust as we go along. But what I do have now is the capability to make those adjustments. So what I have to do is watch the enemy, work and think what the enemy is going to do, and we will do some minor adjustments to go after him. But our goal is to have no safe havens within Iraq. Of course, the Iraqi security forces play a huge role in this, and we're working very closely with them in order to make this happen.
General Odierno, we've heard in recent days about thousands of American soldiers and Marines coming back from Iraq with mental problems. An Army mental health recommendation suggested that soldiers should be given 1 month off for every 3 months in combat. Is that possible?
Well, I'm not sure. I think we have to be very conscious of this. I've looked at the study. I've talked about it with my commanders. The soldiers here are under a lot of stress. It's a stressful environment, and it's on a daily basis. So what we try to do internal to the country is rotate soldiers away from areas that are a bit hotter than others. We do it based on, I let the local commanders decide what the time frame is that they're able to do that. And we do that in order for them to get a break and to allow them to relieve some of the stress that they have. But it's not a month for every 3 months. So we're not able to do that here at this time. We do rotate, though. For example, I was at a unit today out in Diyala province where they do 2 weeks there and then 1 week back. And that's the rotation that they go through in rotating their forces through a patrol base that is in a fairly hot area.
All right. Well, General Odierno, good luck with the Arrowhead Ripper up there in Diyala and the other operations that you've got going throughout the country. Some real good news out of Iraq would be a welcome thing. Lieutenant General Ray Odierno, thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.